What's good, YouTube? DM Gaming here, man. And I'm going to be able to get this video out before the evening time. So jumping straight into it, guys, I want to clear some stuff up that's been said around the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot community. I posted it on Twitter earlier. And I already seen that Riken has already talked about this as well. And that's regarding this image here. There's some misinformation going on about the scans in general. Guys, like I said in the video before, this is Android 17's barrier attack. And if you hit it, you get paralyzed. This is not Gohan's blocking attack or evasive attack from Xenoverse. Also, this right here is not a villainous enemy. Look at 18 right here. This is what the enemies in the game look like when they go into surge mode. Look at Raditz right here. He has that red aura. He's in his surge mode, and this is when the enemies in the game do their super attacks for the most part. They become very aggressive. Not to be confused with this aura, which is the villainous enemy aura. They do look very similar, but as you can tell, the auras are clearly different. This is more of a laid back aura. You don't see a lot of black and dark reds in this. In the villainous enemy aura, you can clearly see the auras reaching a lot higher. They're darker on the outside and things like that. That is not what this image is. I've zoomed into it a million times. It's not the same thing. Now, that's not to say that Toei and Mira won't be involved in this DLC. However, I don't think that they're going to be involved in this DLC. Toei and Mira were more for the main game, an in-game type of content for the main game, guys. They haven't been in DLC 1 and 2. I don't see them being in DLC 3. There's no reason for them to be. I know some people are saying, well, it's Trunks and Toei and Mira tied to him. They're not tied to this Trunks. They're tied to a different future Trunks. A Xeno Trunks is what they call him. But it's not this Trunks. Different timeline, different, course of events. Okay. So that's the main thing. Just setting that straight. Also, as far as playable characters go, Gohan, one thing that I did want to mention, because I remember the same time they said Vegito was going to be playable, and I said, not like people think. A lot of people gave me a lot of slack for that because they were like, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. They said Vegito's going to be playable, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense for the story, guys, for him to be playable. Now, with that being said, they're saying that Gohan is playable. The issue going around in the community right now is that if Gohan dies in the story, how can he be a playable character? Guys, they can make him a playable character. You can play with you can be able to play with Gohan during the story, and then when he dies, we don't know if he's going to be an unlockable playable character. We'll be able to play with him later on. No, by playable means that playable in Bandai's sense means that you will be able to play and control him during the story. Doesn't mean that he's going to be an unlockable character at the end of the DLC or whatever. That's yet to be determined. I don't know if they're going to do that or how they're going to work that out. And the main reason I say that is because this DLC is focused on Trunks. And by the way, guys, once again, this is a separate Trunks from what we have in the game. You are not going to encounter the Trunks that you unlocked in the main game and the DLCs. Okay, so we got to get those facts straight, and I'm gonna do a video about the facts of the DLC to lay them out all in one video so people can understand that. Also, guys, Super Saiyan God, this is still an issue for some people. Even on Dragon Ball fandom, man, look at this. Debut. Debut means when did it first appear? Movie, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Then it appeared in the manga, and then it appeared in the Dragon Ball Super anime. But it appeared first in Battle of Gods. The same thing for Dragon Ball Z Fukasu no F and Super Saiyan Blue, guys. Some people still arguing in the comments that Vegeta went Super Saiyan God in that, and yeah, you're correct. Vegeta did go Super Saiyan God. The first time we saw it was in the manga. However, in order to even go Super Saiyan Blue, the fact that Vegeta went Super Saiyan Blue in Fukasu no F means he had to have been able to go Super Saiyan. Okay, y'all have to understand that. You see what I'm saying? And look, right, it even tells you here in Goku's words, this form is what happens when a Saiyan with the power of a Super Saiyan God further transforms himself into a Super Saiyan. Simply, it is the first Super Saiyan form combined with the power and crimson godly key of a Super Saiyan God turned Saiyan Blue. due to the mortal absorbing it, guys. Point blank, period. Like, stop arguing. Yes, Vegeta, we didn't see it until Dragon Ball Super, but the fact that he was able to go blue in Fukasu no F means that he was able to go Super Saiyan God as well. Like, that's literally understood. Like, okay. So now that we got that stuff out the way, man, I hope that everybody's understood that. Let's get into today's video. And I want to talk about this right here, man. I want to talk about the sword, because this is very interesting pertaining to the story between between Gohan and Trunks in the DLC. Because one thing people have to understand is this, man. People are talking about how long is the DLC and things like that. Guys, this is telling you that, I've been saying for a long time that they're going to do more with this story. Like, it's going to be detailed. It's going to be detailed there. And the way that Kakarot has always been, it's been a kind of game that has told you things from the background that you didn't see in the anime, that you didn't experience in the manga. Okay. I did the research on the manga, guys. It's a lot shorter than the anime version. Okay, the manga starts out with Gohan already having one arm, Trunks already being a Super Saiyan. They didn't show how he obtained it, so it's understood in the manga that he had it before Gohan died because he was able to go Super Saiyan then. In the anime version, however, Trunks doesn't go Super Saiyan until after Gohan dies. Which version of the game are they going to follow? Which version is the game going to follow? I believe that the game is going to follow the anime, simply because that's a very iconic scene that has been shared around the Dragon Ball gaming community that includes future Trunks and future Gohan. But I want to talk about his sword, because there's some interesting things within the history of Trunks, within Trunks' timeline in general and things like that about this sword. Now, we know about Tapion, okay? We know about Tapion and how Trunks was able to get his sword. That's where he got his sword from in the movie with Harudagon and stuff with Tapion. However, the issue with that is that in Trunks' timeline, everybody's dead. So we can't say, we know that as far as the game goes, he doesn't get his sword. He's not going to get a sword from Tapion, because Harudagon is not going to be there, because Vegeta and Goku and them aren't there. You get what I'm saying? I would like to think that that took place in the original timeline, in Goku's Nim timeline, because you had the teen kid Trunks that we have that is present in Goku Nim's timeline. You get what I'm saying? So ruling out Tapion in this, who else could Trunks possibly have gotten his sword from? I am willing to bet that he got it from Gohan himself. Now, this is purely speculative thought, but y'all know my speculations are backed by in-game evidence. I found it often strange. There's a time gap, okay? Trunks in the anime did not fight with this sword against the androids in the history of Trunks until after Gohan died, okay? And guys, if you look at the outline for the history of Trunks, there is a 3-year time gap from the time Trunks goes Super Saiyan to the time that he fights the androids with this sword right here. What happens between that 3 years? And if you look at this scene here, I'm not going to play it because I'm not trying to get copyrighted, but go back and watch the history of Trunks. After Gohan dies, Trunks goes Super Saiyan, and the next scene, he's in Capsule Corp with his mama, and he goes into the closet and grabs his sword, and he goes off to fight the androids, okay? So where did he get that sword? Now, it's very interesting in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot that Gohan, and this happened also in the anime, Piccolo gave Gohan this outfit that has his kanji on the back, but he also gave Gohan a sword, guys. And this is actually in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and it's in the Dragon Ball Z anime. Yet the only time we see Gohan wield the sword, aside from this time period, is whenever he's on Supreme Kai's planet wielding the Z sword. And I find it very, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it a coincidence that Trunks, even, we know through the manga, that he trained with the Supreme Kai as well to wield the Z sword? Like, I think that that's very coincidental, man, that both of them, and we know that Gohan trained Trunks. Now, here's where it gets deeper. Piccolo was Gohan's mentor, both in Trunks' timeline and in the original or the timeline that we are accustomed to. Piccolo gives Gohan a sword when he is leaving Gohan. Not Piccolo isn't dying. He didn't die, but he left Gohan in the wilderness with this sword in his absence. I think that future Trunks we're going to get to see in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot how Trunks obtains this sword. Perhaps, it's just my speculation, guys. That the same way that Piccolo left Gohan with the sword when in his absence, I think that Gohan is leaving this sword for Trunks after his death. And we're going to find out and get to experience how Trunks obtains this sword. I think that is super interesting. And in CyberConnect 2, if y'all listening, this would be a phenomenal way to add more depth to Gohan and Trunks' relationship. Because, guys, like I told y'all, I believe that this DLC, people are talking about this DLC only 46. The history chunk is only 46 minutes long. How they're going to do 8 hours. I've explained my theory on how they're going to do the 8 hours. But like I told you, the cusp of this DLC, guys, they are going to explore the relationship between Gohan and Trunks. We are going to feel the relationship between these two. We are going to finally get a chance through this game, amazing game, to understand just how Trunks is so attached to Gohan. And this, I feel, is a big part of it. Okay? Is the sword. How Trunks obtains the sword. Like I said, I'm going to say it again because I know sometimes people don't listen. I'm not saying this is going to happen. And I'm not saying that they're going to show us how Trunks got his sword. I'm not saying that Gohan gave it to him. All I'm saying is I find it very ironic that Piccolo, when he left Gohan, even in Kakarot, he left Gohan alone and he left him with this sword. Trunks doesn't get this sword until Gohan dies. When he's out there with Gohan going Super Saiyan, he doesn't fight with a sword anytime before then. The only time we see him with this sword is after Gohan dies. There is a 3-year time skip. Okay, there's a 3-year time between the time Gohan dies and the time that Trunks finally fights the androids, beats up, and goes back into the past to give the heart medicine to Goku. How did he get this sword? Bandai Namco CyberConnect 2, you have a prime opportunity to dive deep into this story, this camaraderie between master and trainer, and bridge the gap between these swords, because both of them wielded swords in their youth. Both of them wielded the Z sword. They're a big part of both characters. You see what I'm saying? The difference comes is whenever Trunks fights with the Z sword, Dabura spits on it, it falls, it breaks, Dabura destroys it. So Trunks, the Supreme Kai, the Elder Kai, never came out. Okay. And it's also interesting that even against the androids, Android 18 destroys Trunks' sword. Like, the sword is obviously monumental to Trunks. King Cold even admired Trunks' sword and things like that. Give us the background of this sword, man, because there's obviously a relationship there. There's obviously a connection there. And I think the community even wonders, how did future Trunks get this sword? Because like I said, it couldn't have been Tapion, because the Z Warriors are dead in this Trunks' timeline. So Tapion couldn't have given him this sword. And did he just find it laying around somewhere? Maybe it's not the same sword. I'm not saying that it's the same sword that Kid Gohan had. No. But obviously Gohan had some experience with a sword. And it could have been possible that they included it in their training somewhere, some shape, form, or fashion. Because Trunks has said in the Dragon Ball universe that this sword was given to him by someone very special. And the community assumes that it was Tapion because of the Harudagon movie. However, that doesn't add up to this Trunks' timeline. The only person that meant something to Trunks that was there for him was Gohan. Now, I'm not saying that Tapion couldn't have given it to him in Trunks' timeline. Maybe he showed up, but in that 3-year time skip, we don't know. But because that 3-year time skip is unknown to everybody, and we see Teen Gohan with a sword, it is possible, guys, that Bandai Namco and Cyber Connect 2 can make it to where Gohan is the one that leaves Trunks this sword. That's why it means so much to him. You see what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying, man? What I'm building is a story, guys, because this is a post-apocalyptic. We already know that from the scans. That's what they talk about, even post-apocalyptic, man. It's dark. Battle for survival. These androids, they have stronger abilities, even though they were stronger in Goku's timeline. Yet and still, they were more savage in this timeline. They were a lot more ruthless. As some of y'all have even pointed out in the comments, they were more ruthless in this timeline. So that leads us to know, guys, that this DLC is going to be not only difficult, but it's going to be extremely emotional, man. It's going to be extremely emotional, man. This stuff between Gohan, and some of y'all even pointed out how Gohan doesn't have the scar on his eye here and he has it here. Trunks is learning Masenko. Like, bro, this is going to be real deep, man. He doesn't have the sword in any of these scans, but we know that Trunks ends up with the sword. So, man, Bandai Namco, explore this. Explore the heck out of this. You know what I'm saying? And as far as in-game bosses, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Because we know through the story of Trunks, and you can even read about it, he easily defeats Cell and the androids when he goes back into his timeline after spending time in Goku's timeline. Now, because this video has gone on for a while, I'm going to save that for tomorrow morning's video. So y'all definitely want to check that out because I have some information on that as well. That, you know, and I know some of y'all already speculate with me, but like I speculated that Dabura could be the in-game boss. And I know that a lot of y'all are saying, hey, only time we saw him was in Super. But the fact that that was a flashback means that it's not stated in the Dragon Ball universe at one point in time that battle actually took place. Now, we know that after that Goku Black did come, but because Trunks is in a different timeline, it leaves the door open for them to potentially cover that. And let me tell you something. For those of y'all who are in love with transformations, you want him to be the in-game boss because that is when Trunks gains Super Saiyan 2. Not only that, but then we will also be able to train with Supreme Kai with Trunks and the Z Sword. So that is adding even more content that we have never seen in a Dragon Ball game, aside from I think Shin Batoden that was on the PSP or something like that. They went into that. But guys, let me know what y'all think down in the comments section down below. Do you follow along with this speculation? Do you think that it'll happen? Do you want it to happen where we actually get to experience this relationship between Gohan and Trunks and seeing if Cyber Connect 2 is going to do that in Bandai and having us actually get to see how Trunks obtains his sword? Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Click that bell icon so you don't miss a single upload. Man, we got a good one coming, man. Let me know what y'all think. Till next time, y'all, thanks for watching. Peace.